You know, I said this, and you guys remember when I came out of there. I said if Middle Tennessee was in the SEC, they'd be the third, fourth best team in the SEC. Nothing's changed my mind watching them on film and what they've done. You know, they've got great experience, you know, with Upshaw and Williams and the three seniors. They function well together at both ends. They got a good system. They've got good depth. You know, I think a key to their team has been their point guard play. You know, I don't know what Otto would say about that, but I think he's become a guy that early in the year didn't shoot it very well. We got him going. I think he was 5 for 5 against us. And since then, he's, you know, shot 50% in the field. I think he's been very steady for them. They got enough depth. They're a good team, and they're able to score multiple ways. They're able to throw it in the paint. They're able to drive it to the paint, and they have enough shooters. So it makes them a very difficult team to defend. And besides them being the best defensive team in the league too, you know, they don't give up a lot of points.
Last matchup was in Murfreesboro. You play them here in Diddle. You mentioned over the course of the season it's different playing at home than it is on the road. How does that change the dynamic of this game?
Well, you know, like I've said, you always rather be at home. But being at home, as we just found out the other day, sure don't, you know, secure anything. I mean, you got to be able to play. I mean, any team would rather play at home. But like I said, we found out against Marshall, being at home, you know, don't guarantee anything by any means. So, I mean, we got to play. I mean, Middle Tennessee's a really good team. And again, you know, we just came off a very difficult game. You know, got off to such a horrible start and kind of played from behind most of the game. So, you know, it's obvious you want to get off to better starts. I mean, we don't have that kind of team, and you guys have seen this on the road in particular, and it happens on the road more than it does at home. You get off to bad starts, you know, it takes the motion out of your team. Well, we need to get off to a better start. We don't need to be behind 17-4 that first time out, or wherever it was, or me having to use 2 timeouts before the first timeout, and beat good teams like Middle. You just can't do that. Maybe there's some teams in the league you can come from behind on, but Middle Tennessee is not one of those teams.
Now that you all have seen just about every team in the league, you still think Middle is the clear and away the number 1, and there's the gap to number 2?
Who's number 2?
Just Andy's just
no question about Middle. Middle is the number 1 team. Again, I just think they put together well. Kermit does a great job with them. They got enough star power players and Upshaw and Potts. And again, you know, today, you know, if I had to say who's the best, most difficult player on the best team in the league, if I was going to vote, it would be the Williams kid. I mean, that's where I'd vote. Best player on best team. Or he's the guy that difficult to defend. You know, he can really shoot it. He gives them another level of athleticism. He can run in transition. He can rebound that basketball, and he scores multiple ways. He's a difficult matchup. And, again, lead them in scoring. And probably before the season, again, I don't know all about their last year team. You just hear him make a few comments. Otto, you still on there?
Hi.
You'd probably be willing to say that the Williams kid's been y'all's biggest surprise this year. Is that correct?
Absolutely. He's been a game changer.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody thought Upshaw coming back and Potts coming back. That's their 2 go-to guys, but it hasn't been. This other guy's picked up, you know, and he's become a guy they look for. It's probably because maybe Upshaw hadn't maybe had quite the year maybe everybody anticipated, but probably because of Williams.
Rick, speaking of the game at Murfreesboro, after the game, Kermit had some very kind words to say about you. And I just
hey, when they beat you good, they can always talk about you nice. That's real. That's a good time to say something nice about a coach once they beat you. They're right, Otto.
I sense there's some real mutual respect between you guys.
Well, I mean, we've known each other for a long time. He was at LSU as assistant coach for all those years. We went at it. You know, mutual respect, both sides. You know, he's done a terrific job at middle. You know, what he did last year and this year, he's a terrific coach. He's done a great job. So there's a lot of mutual respect. You know, his father was the head coach at Mississippi State at one time. So a lot of relationships all around that. And, again, Kermit's done a great job there at Middle Tennessee.
How has your team responded coming off Saturday's loss?
Well, I don't know if you ever find out how you really respond. You tip that thing up again Thursday night. I mean, you know, probably when I walked in here to you guys, you know, I said this. You know, I didn't walk up here much just feeling our guys didn't come out and just play hard from the get-go. I didn't say play good. I felt like that initially that's kind of where we were. And watching the game film again, talking to our players, and this is never good in any way. And you all know this is kind of our personality with this team. Those first 5 threes they hit in that first 5 minutes and whatever seconds it was, 20 seconds, man, it took the emotion from us. And that's never good, but it's kind of where it's been with this team, and you hit on the road is what happened. And, you know, we just didn't have the same energy and emotions you got to have. You can't get down 20 and try to come back against the quality teams like, you know, Marshall and Middle, and that's where we were. To our team's credit, they found a way to keep fighting. You know, I'm going to find the silver lining, and the silver lining was that. We had the last shot to tie the game up. No matter how bad the stats look, we go 4 for 19, really 2 for 17. Q hits 2 when the game's over in the last minute and a half. But we're 4 for 19 to the three-point line. They make 14 threes, and we still have the last second shot to tie that thing up. And if you told me Cake's going to make 1 3 and that Q's basically, you know, what his was, and we're going to have a chance to win it, I wouldn't have believed it. And that's kind of the way it turned out. We have to shoot the ball better against those better teams in this league. Middle Tennessee, Marshalls, UAB. We're not potent enough offensively. We don't get enough consistently inside that paint. And you know, point guard play, that we're not going to beat people in scoring from that position. Cake and Q has to score along with Justin along that baseline. Otto, you get that scouting report? Like we're real hard to scout, aren't we?
I'm passing it right on to Trevor Davis.
Yeah, trust me, Kermit's got it already. You don't save your time walking down there after that. What else you got? Go ahead.
Rick, speaking of the first game there, I believe it was the first game that Anton started. They put him in the starting lineup. Over the past few games, how do you think he's handled the transition from coming off the bench to starting?
He's done fine. I mean, every kid would rather start, you know. Anton's a young man that you feel like the most part gives you some energy around that rim. He's probably our best offensive rebounder. You know, some other things he struggles with some, but, you know, it's kind of him and Ben. You know, some nights you get a little bit more from each of them. You know, it depends on how they're playing, kind of how you play them out there a little bit.